Russia's Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov visited North Korea and met the country's leader Kim Jong Un in the eastern city of Wonsan on Saturday. According to Associated Press, Lavrov conveyed greetings from President Vladimir Putin and told Kim that Putin looks forward to continuing direct contacts with you in the near future. The Russian foreign minister also met with his North Korean counterpart Choe Son Hui earlier on Saturday, and called the talks substantive, concrete, and very useful. Relations between Russia and North Korea have been flourishing in recent years, with North Korea supplying troops and ammunitions to support Russia in the conflict with Ukraine in return for military and economic assistance. That has raised concerns among South Korea, the US and others that Russia might also transfer to North Korea sensitive technologies that can increase the danger of its nuclear and missile programs.
Прошло год, когда мы встречались с вами.
Вы все еще курите, и я курю.
아직도 계속 담배를 피우신 모양입니다. 저도 담배 피우고. 처선님으로 이 개장한 이래에 원산 지구의 처선님으로 맞이한 데 대해서 기쁘게 생각합니다. 오늘 오전에 우리 외무성 최선희 동지와 그 회담을 진행한 걸로 알고 있는데 지금 현 정세 국면은 두 나라 외교 외무상들께서 이렇게 자주 정기적으로 이렇게 만나서 두 나라 관계 발전과 국제 현안 문제들, 호상 관심사로 되는 문제들에 대해서 수시로 의견을 교환하고 호상 이익을 수호하기 위한 두 나라 양국 지도부의 그 우중을 소통하고 의견을 자주 교환하는 게 매우 중요하다고 생각합니다.
Президент передает вам самые горячие приветы, подтверждает приверженность всем договоренностям, которые были достигнуты, и очень рассчитывает на продолжение прямых контактов с вами в самое ближайшее время.
Оценки переговоров по поводу разговора на уровне министров.
Наши переговоры с товарищем Choe Son Hui продолжались более 3 часов, были предметные, конкретные и очень полезные. Первым был посол.
Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov on Saturday held talks with his North Korean counterpart Choe Son Hui in the port city of Wonsan. According to Associated Press, Choe praised the relations between the two countries, noting that they have risen to the level of an unbreakable alliance. Lavrov thanked the North Korean leadership for providing military assistance at the border with Ukraine. "We are sincerely grateful to the leadership of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and of course to all servicemen, soldiers, and officers, who demonstrated excellent combat training and made a very important contribution to the just cause of liberating Russian territories," he said. The Russian minister began his 3-day trip to North Korea on Friday. Russia's TASS news agency reported Wednesday that the trip was part of the second round of strategic dialogue with Choe Son Hui. Lavrov and Choe's earlier meeting took place in November in Moscow. Some South Korean analysts said Lavrov may discuss arranging a visit by North Korean leader Kim Jong Un to Russia. Since February 2024, North Korea has been accepting Russian tourists amid expanding military cooperation between the countries.
Здравствуйте.
Здравствуйте. Thank you. Very nice to see you. The weather is perfect and the place is fantastic. Yes, it's good. В ходе первого раунда нашего стратегического диалога, когда вы приехали в ноябре прошлого года в Москву, вы охарактеризовали наш новый базовый стратегический договор как прочную основу непобедимого боевого братства.
Участие в боевых подразделениях вооруженных сил КНДР в операции.
Оценка получила зримое подтверждение в прямом практическом смысле ваших слов в Курской области, о чем вы упомянули, где героические военнослужащие, бойцы Корейской народной армии вместе с российскими бойцами ценой крови и даже жизни приблизили освобождение Курской области, а это украинских нацистов и
По освобождению Курского региона ярко свидетельствовало самый высокий...
Мы искренне признательны руководству Корейской Демократической Республики и, конечно, всем военнослужащим, солдатам, офицерам, которые продемонстрировали великолепную боевую подготовку и внесли очень важный вклад в справедливое дело освобождения русских территорий.
Высокий уровень нашего союзничества, а также стало...
Police Colonel Maxim Kazban, who heads the Lyut Brigade of Ukraine, emphasized that behind all successes of the Russian armed forces on the battlefield are the numerical superiority of the enemy and the command's disregard for the lives of its soldiers. The Ukrainian armed forces value the lives of their soldiers, and when they see that there is no particular need to fight for an unsuitable position, they retreat, reports the Ukrinform resource. The enemy is trying with all its might to capture any position in order to then report to the Russian Ministry of Defense about its progress. With such command, the motivation of enemy soldiers is zero. However, even in this case, the higher command has something to motivate the soldier with. If you go back, retreat, Putin's soldier will face physical violence. The motivation is fear and cries of forward, we are winning. The principle of command in the Russian armed forces is based on deception and fear. Often, commanders of the Russian armed forces say that there are already their own ahead and they are waiting for reinforcements. But in fact, there is no one there, and Putin's soldiers are simply going to the slaughter. At the same time, do not underestimate the enemy. He is developing, learning from mistakes, looking for new ways of attack. The roots of Russian military brutality run deep. During World War II, the Red Army earned a reputation for its harsh treatment of both enemies and civilians. As Soviet soldiers advanced through Eastern Europe, they left a trail of destruction, including widespread rape and looting. Nor is brutality in the Russian military confined to the battlefield. It is also deeply ingrained in its internal culture, particularly through the practice of dedovshchina, the institutionalized hazing and bullying of young recruits. Russia's horrific casualties in its invasion of Ukraine, now estimated to have surpassed the combined total from all of Moscow's wars since 1945, have put its infamous meat grinder tactics in the spotlight. Ukrainian soldiers have described waves of poorly armed, ill-prepared Russian troops thrown into battle as cannon fodder, leading to extreme rates of death and injury among the invaders. At the same time, Russian soldiers have themselves engaged in extreme violence, not only against Ukrainian civilians and prisoners of war, but also against each other. Why are Russian troops, who are treated by their commanders as disposable infantry, willing to put up with and engage in such widespread brutality with so little protest? Foreign policy media outlet says that fratricidal coercion, violence within units, and mistreatment among soldiers are not unique to the Russian military, but they have seldom been seen on this scale in recent decades. And while soldiers throughout history have resisted orders, most famously, US soldiers engaged in so-called fragging against their officers during the Vietnam War. This sort of defiance is largely absent among Russian troops. The ongoing invasion of Ukraine, uniquely documented through widespread online coverage, reveals how an ingrained culture of violence in the Russian military fuels a brutal cycle of coercion and complicity. But astonishing death rates and brutal abuse have not kept troops from following orders in the Russian army.